the cliche that it's been with all of the clubs and players I've spoken to, whether it's United or St Johnstone with Jason Kerr, is that you're the massive favourites, but actually it doesn't really matter how you get through as long as you get through.
Yeah, exactly. We've done a lot of preparation building up to the game so far, and also got an day's training to really kind of hone in on what we want to do in the match. And we're treating it like every other game, preparing properly, and looking to put on a good performance and get in the next round.
Obviously, the tricky bit of this is the long trip down to Stair Park, and Stranraer are notoriously good on their home patch, and actually their form's been pretty decent in the last few weeks. So, as much as they might be exhausted from playing 4 games a week, just about, they will be tricky opponents.
Yeah, exactly. Also, for the kind of look at the last few games, and obviously their matches are coming thick and fast at the minute, which is probably a bit unfair to these sort of clubs, but it's the way it's got to be to finish their campaigns. And but as you said, they're coming off the back of good form. So when you're in good form, you just want the next game to come, and I'm sure they'll be mentally and physically prepared for us, just as we will be for them.
You've got to right or wrong, if you like, with the Cup this year. Obviously, the League Cup wasn't the outcome you wanted in that semi-final, but you've got a really good chance to get all the way through to the final this year because of the way the draw is. And the added incentive, I suppose, as well. You know, sad news that Ryan Jack's going to miss the Euros, but you're right on the edge of getting into that squad if your form continues to be this good this season.
Yeah, obviously there has been disappointments throughout this season, but that comes throughout every season. You're not going to go through plain sailing, but the majority of this campaign has been positive for us. And again, we see this as another opportunity to take a step further. And I think the disappointments have been so big because they're in major tournaments and they're at the final stages, and that's what makes them so heartbreaking. And difficult to get over. So, but on the flip side of that, you've got to look at, we are getting to these situations time and time again. So as I said, this is another opportunity to put ourselves in these big matches, and hopefully we'll go one further. But that's a fair bit down the line ahead of this game.
So, Paul, do you think that experience that you've got now of reaching semi-finals and even finals recently, in terms of that, can give you that sort of, that experience now to get over the line? Do you think you've been, the fact you've been there so regularly will help going into the sort of latter stage of this tournament? Yeah,
you'd like to think it does, but everybody knows cup football, and that's why you need to always prepare properly and be as professional as you possibly can for every single round, and that's what we'll be doing this weekend. But we've got experience of going to Hanlon, but that doesn't prepare us for going to Stranraer away. So as I said, we just need to kind of look at this match, do a professional job hopefully this weekend, and get us into the next round.
It's one of the sort of more unique grounds in Scotland. Have you been down there before?
Nah, I don't think I've ever been. So it's a fair journey away, and it's another one to kind of tick off the list in terms of my professional career. Going to different stadiums, you want to do that. Lower leagues, higher leagues, European football, you want to kind of experience as much as you can throughout your career. So looking forward to a trip down there at the weekend.
They always say these kind of ties, especially when you're going away from home, are sort of banana skins. But do you think when not having the crowds there, does that take some of the sort of risky factor away from it?
I'm not sure really. I think there's still a massive potential banana skin for us. They're as you said, a team that are in form. They've been winning games recently, so that makes them very dangerous, scoring goals as well. So we can't be taking them lightly, and we won't be taking them lightly going into the match. And as I said, we know if we can perform well on the day, then that should be enough to get us into the next round. So it's up to us to do that.
Paul, can you remember what you were up to 5 years ago today?
I think I was watching a Conrad Logan masterclass.
Sitting behind you anyway. When you look at that, it's quite something that day.
No, it was incredible. Just the whole story behind it, and for him to be such a hero on that day was just incredible. What an individual performance, and then obviously there was a kind of Jason Cummins sideshow as well, missing the penalty and then scoring the winner as well. So it's a good day to look back on, and a kind of big part of the story of winning the Scottish Cup.
Did it still sort of frighten you? I mean, you could go to Stranraer, and I mean, if everybody was sitting and things like that, you could still line up with three of the guys that were, or all of the guys even that were in that back line with you that day.
Yeah, it shows there's a bit of continuity to the squad, and the guys that have been here a while, and I've been fortunate enough to lift this trophy. So I say we'll be trying to pass on a bit of experience to the boys that haven't experienced it, but there's lads that have played down in the FA Cup and places like that as well, where there's potential banana skins all over the place there as well. So it's just cup football really, and most of the players have been involved in first team environments long enough to know how you need to treat these games.
Any messages going down south to Conrad today?
No, I'm not spoken for a while actually, but I'm sure there'll be a while to come anyway. Every time this day comes around, he gets remembered, and rightly so, because what performance he put on that day and got us to the final.
Paul, with the Scottish Cup win in 2016, does that be your best moment of your career so far?
Definitely. I'd probably go as far as saying I'd have to do really, really well to ever match that, to be honest. Obviously desperate to add to that between now and the end of my career. Hopefully another Scottish Cup, potentially a League Cup, whatever. We can get my hands on. But in terms of the way that went, it was just incredible to obviously everyone knows how long it had been since Hibs had won that cup. So and being a Hibs fan as well, just a really special moment for me and my family, and to be part of that squad. Obviously, it's massive for me.
During that cup winning season, I think you scored probably one of the most pivotal goals on the cup run against Hearts. Is that something? Do you think of that a lot? Like what could have been? Had, won that.
I wouldn't say I think about it a lot now. It's probably like to now when you have to kind of speak to you guys, and on Scottish Cup weekends it kind of comes up a bit more. But it was probably one of them that I was delighted to score at Tynecastle again. Being a Hibs fan, scoring against Hearts, it was all great. But I probably don't realise the significance until we do go on and lift the cup, and realise how much a pivotal moment it was.
And with Celtic and Rangers, I suppose, meeting this weekend, one of them gets knocked out. Does that open up the draw for Hibernian? And also, I suppose the League Cup final shows that teams out with the big two can actually go on and win a trophy.
Yeah, definitely. You're always kind of looking at your pathway. We obviously know what lies ahead, the way the format's been this year in terms of drawing the next two rounds, so we know what's ahead of us. If we do progress this weekend. So, listen, the odds I'm always going as strong favourites to these competitions, but we're one going out this weekend, then it does open up an opportunity for other teams, and we like to think that we're in that category.
Just finally for me, I know Chris mentioned earlier international aspirations. You've been involved in Scotland squads. How confident are you that you could maybe play yourself into Steve Clarke's for the Euros?
Well, obviously, it's always been an ambition of mine to play for my country, and luckily enough, with the form I've had this season, that's got me that this year. Delighted to get that cap, and to know that you are kind of in and amongst the manager's thoughts. And every player will stay the same, but it is really all about me performing well for Hibs, and Hibs being successful. That's a big part of it as well. Being part of a successful Hibs team will undoubtedly help my chances. So that is my main focus, to try and finish the season strongly, cement third place, and see how far we can go in the cup. And if that leads to anything else in terms of internationally, then I'd be absolutely over the moon. But I know first and foremost that I need to be doing it week in, week out for Hibs.
Thank you.
Paul, after the club cemented their place in the top six this season, how important is it for the club to get a run in the Scottish Cup?
Yeah, it's always an ambition. As I touched on earlier, we've performed well enough in recent years, just not got to that kind of final or on to win the trophies, but we're getting to the latter stages regularly, so we want to continue that, and then obviously we want to go that step further. We're getting to these big matches at Hampden, but just not coming out on the right side the last few occasions. So we need to put that right. But as I touched on earlier, we need to go to Stranraer first and take care of that, and then we can start looking forward.
Do you think, as a team, having been there twice this season in semi-finals and lost out, that you can learn some lessons from those games? I know you've obviously got this tie to come through first, but do you think, as a squad, you can learn something from those two defeats so far this season in cup competitions?
Yeah, you'd like to think you take learnings from each individual match in terms of where you went wrong, but if you learn from these errors, it doesn't mean that you automatically win the next semi-final. They're all completely individual matches, which you need to treat that way. And as I said, we're obviously nowhere near that stage yet, but if we were, then we'd be preparing as we do for every other opponent and trying to, or the manager would be trying to work out a game plan that would win these games. But as I said, we're not at that stage yet.
Just finally for me, Paul, after last week missing out on probably a point at Ibrox, can the squad take a lot of confidence in that performance that you put in at the weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I think in terms of the number of chances that we created, a lot of shots on target, a right few opportunities to get at least a point from the match was a positive. We came off the pitch thinking that we deserved and we potentially could have got more from that match. So I think that's a step in the right direction. But at the end of the day, we didn't get anything from the match. So it's just about kind of getting to that next level where we're going to Ibrox and we're taking points and we're getting wins on a regular basis, which I think over the course of our matches with Rangers this season, we probably deserved a wee bit more than what we've got.